Well, hey there, busy kids. Welcome to a special bonus lesson. This lesson tutorial is to learn the song by the band Imagine Dragons called Believer. It was a special request from a busy kid student, so I hope that you all enjoy learning it. It does have a tricky rhythm to it, so my big encouragement to you is to say the words. I'm guessing if you're doing this lesson tutorial that you're familiar with the words. This is a song that you like, that you listen to and are familiar with. So saying the words is sometimes a little bit easier than sort of getting bogged down with the counting. So just an encouragement as we get started. Let's go ahead and take a look at the piano. All right, to set up for this introduction, our left hand is going to be on the A below middle C. So I'm seated at the center of my piano. My nose is in line with middle C. I'm going to play left hand, finger 1, right here on the A. Finger 3 on the right hand is going to come up on this. Here's middle C, the next C higher, okay? And I'm going to play these first two measures 3 times. So it's going to sound like this. Triplet, triplet, triplet. So we have a triplet in there. Remember, triplet's going to fit 3 notes into 1 beat. In this case, it fits it over 2 beats. But you just can say bum, bum, bum. Remember, it's got that drum beat kind of at the beginning. Boom, boom, doom, bum, 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 bum. So you just want to have a nice, fast triplet there. Okay, go ahead, pause the video, try those first couple measures on your own a few times, and then press play. All right, after you've played your intro, notice it changes a little bit. You're going to play the A, and then together in measures 3 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And my 4/4 timing, I'm really pushing that 4/4. Okay, if I start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, I mean, that gets really, really slow. So I'm pushing forward. Think of it almost like a 2/2 time signature, but I know not everyone has gotten to that point in the program. So I wanted to make it a little bit more accessible and kept it in 4/4, but think of it as a forward moving 4/4. Okay, so measures 3 and 4 together. You try. All right, now we start with the lyrics. So I'm going to start with just taking a look at my right hand. I play A, E, D, D, C, D. You try. Now I'm going to point something out with the quarter notes in this piece, okay? You'll notice when he sings the song, when Imagine Dragons sing the song, the quarter notes have some swag, some swing to them. So it doesn't sound like this. Right? It's not perfectly even. It's more like this. So be sure that you are swinging those quarter notes a little bit if you want it to sound exactly like the song that you hear on the radio. Okay. So first things first, I'ma say all the words in, and then for side my head, I reach finger 2 to A here, A, G, A. So this, all the words inside my head. Just say the words with me and let's say it to the beat. Ready, go. All the words inside my head. All right, now you try playing it with the correct fingering there. So you have fingers 2 and 3 skipping B there. Pause the video and just try that group of quarter notes, then press play. All right, now we essentially repeat that part. You have, I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. And then you're going to tuck the thumb under to the O, because we have a big reach there. So if I tuck my thumb under to the C, then finger 5 is free to reach up to this high A here, okay? So it starts the same. Tuck. Okay, and then you can switch back to finger 5 on the E there. So it's very repetitive, just have to be careful with the fingering there, okay? So pause the video and try from I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been, oh, oh, oh. Try that much. Pause the video. Okay, now for the way that things have been the second time, the fingering's the same, but when you come down from the high A, you're gonna play a G sharp. That's this middle black key here. You're gonna play it with finger 4 and you hold it, okay? And then we repeat this whole verse again for the second verse, but we have a second ending there. Okay, so pause the video, try everything, the first verse between the repeat signs, right hand only, and then press play. All right, throwing in the left hand here, I will say left hand's pretty simple in this song. It just adds these kind of like deeper bass notes to complement the melody. So you started here. You're gonna play that A again in measures 5, measure 7, then you have an F, E, measure 12, you have G sharp. So again, that's the middle of the 3 black keys. Okay, and you're just kind of, those are your notes. These 4 notes here are the ones that you're playing. So if you'd like, you can just pause the video, just run through the left hand quickly on your own in verse 1 and then press play. All right, now as you put the hands together, it's pretty straightforward because you just have left hand whole notes. So they're gonna always come in on beat 1. So first things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. Okay, so the big thing is to just make sure you're coming on beat 1 and that you're holding the whole note for the entire measure and then observing the rests when it happens, okay? So let's try I'll play it and then you play it type of a thing here. I'm gonna do the first phrase here from first things first. Now you try. Okay, now I'm gonna start from I'm fired up. So one thing to be careful of there is you have not as many rests in the left hand, but you do have a rest when you hit that high A. So make sure you're just hitting the high A, no left hand notes. Listen to me do that one more time. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, just the right hand. Okay, so pause the video, try that phrase on your own, and then press play. All right, and then we have the repeat finally. The way that things have been. Ooh, ooh. Okay, let's go over that ooh in measure 19. I have a tie in the right hand. I'm gonna come in with E on beat 1. I'm gonna hold the tied note, but I'm gonna play this G sharp in the left hand. So it sounds like this. Can you try it with me? Ready, go. Okay, so that's the first ending. Go ahead, pause the video, try the entire thing, your introduction, your first verse, and then press play. All right, now we have 2 endings here. We have first verse, second verse, and this is an edited version of the piece. So I think there's 4 verses in the radio version. I just have 2 of the verses into the final refrain here. So it's a little bit edited, but you could always expand on it because it is a repetitive song. So once you play the second verse, right? Second things second, don't you tell me what to think that I can be. You're going to play measure 19 and then measure 21. You'll skip to the second ending, okay? Which means you're still going to hold the tie note, but just lift the left hand. And then we go into these triplets. Here's where things get tricky, and I kind of said it's almost easier to say the words rather than getting bogged down with the counting. So you'll play G sharp with finger 2 and then tuck the thumb under A. from a young age, taking my sulking to the masses, writing my poems for the few that took at me. So again, it goes pretty fast, and there's these tied eighth notes in there into the triplet that make it a little bit tricky. So if I was to count that, okay, just let me show you what that is in case that is helpful to you in measure 22. It would be 1 and 2 and 3 bullet. So 1 and 2 and triplet. That's the counting if I break it down. If I'm playing it with the rhythm of the song, I think that might be a little bit easier for most of you. It's broken from a young age. Okay, so watch for the tied notes there. Make sure you're not playing the tied notes twice. So in the measure broken from a young age, right? I have a tied note. And then the next time though, I don't have a tied note. So I play every note in that triplet. Young age, taking my sulking to the masses. Don't have a tied note here. Writing my poems, tied note. For the few that looked at me, took to me. So you get the idea. You have to just be really careful. And I would say start nice and slow. I mean, I was going at a pretty fast tempo, but you can do broken from a young age, taking my sulking to the masses, writing my poems. Okay, you can go it very, very slowly if you need to. So why don't you pause the video and try saying the words and just playing that rhythm through measure 25. Stop on poems, and then we'll go over the next part together. All right, so picking up on poems here. Poems for the few. Now we have a bunch of triplets, okay? We have that look at me, took to me, shook to me, feeling me, singing from heartache. So there's a lot of triplets in there. I will give you an option for the fingering there. There is, you're repeating that finger 2 a lot. For some people, it's easier to do a 3-2-1 fingering where you repeat the notes, but I'm switching fingers each time, and that way I'm not fatiguing this one. So it would look like this. Look at me, took to me, shook to me, feeling me, singing from heartache. So you have the option to do that if that feels more comfortable to you, or if you're going to use finger 2, just be sure that you're really keeping it round and firm and articulating each note. You're not getting sloppy here and the fingers like playing some of them, but not the rest of them, okay? Because that's what's cool, I think, about this piece is the way he articulates, the way he pronounces them with such clear accents, and that look at me, took to me, shook to me, feeling my, okay? So you want your playing to have that same articulation here. Okay, so pause the video, play around with poems through heartache now in the piece, and then press play. Okay, now we have from the pain, taking my message from the vein. So we're kind of getting back to the triplet rhythm from earlier in this little bridge here. We had heartache from the pain, taking my message from the veins. And again, if you want to, that's a lot of repeated notes. You can do, you know, just switch fingers if it feels more comfortable to you to not have to continue playing that note with your thumb, okay? Or if it helps you articulate each note a little bit. Okay, and then we have lesson from the brain, seeing my beauty through the, and then right hand's done for a second. Okay, so you've made it through this really difficult part with all of these triplets. So pause the video, try it from, let's see, where did we leave off before? Heartache from the pain. Try it through measure 36 where you stop playing the right hand. Okay, pause the video and try that a couple times on your own and then press play. Okay, left hand, again, pretty straightforward here. all whole notes. We have A, rest, A, then a measure of rest, F, measure of rest, E, G sharp, A. I love the way those sound, that E to G sharp to A. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Just remember to hold those whole notes for the entire measure. Let's just try again where I play it slowly and you play it back to me. So I'm going to start on I Was Broken. Okay, now you try playing that much. All right, now I'm going to pick up on poems. I'm going to play it and then have you play it back to me. All right, now I want you to try that playing it back to me. Make sure that you're enunciating each of those repeated triplets notes. All right, now we have from the pain, taking my message, from the veins, speaking my lesson, from the brain, seeing the beauty through the... All right, you try that much. So I picked up on taking my message until the right hand is finished in measure 36. Okay. Now here's the part where the left hand plays something on its own. G sharp, A, and then right hand comes in with pain, okay? So we have beauty through the pain, okay? Kind of fun there. And then we get into our chorus, you made me a believer, okay? So pause the video, try just the last line so you can get into it a little bit and make sure you're observing the rest in the right hand. Okay, now for our chorus. You made me a believer. And again, we're swinging those quarter notes. We're not going, right? That's not how it's sung. It sounds like this. You made me a. So let's just say it while I play it, okay? From pain. Ready? Go. Pain. You made me a believer. Believer. All right. Now pause the video and I want you to try that much, making sure that you're swinging those quarter notes. You can just do the right hand only and then press play. All right. Adding in our left hand now for that part, we have A, F, and then we have those three notes that I think sound so cool together that this piece plays. I think you have this pattern 3 or 4 times in the piece where you do E, G sharp, A, and then pain. So that's what you have in believer. Boom, we have a tied note there in measure 45, and then I'm resting, pain, okay? So the timing, believer, rest, okay? So pause the video, just try those last 4 measures in the top of the 3rd page and make sure you're lining up the tied note correctly and the rest correctly, and then press play. Okay, so after believer, you're gonna come in with finger 2 on the A here. Pain, you break me down and build me up, believer, believer. So it's exactly the same, okay? And then we just changed for this pain on 54. Instead of going up, you're gonna come down to the D, pain. It's gonna sound crunchy and dissonant. Maybe even that was a deliberate choice because the word is pain, right? Pain. Okay, so pause the video and just try measures 40 through 54, making sure that you're lining things up correctly and using the correct fingering, and then press play. All right, now we're down here and we're on the C and D, and you're just gonna be going back and forth, but swinging those quarter notes. So it's, oh, let the bullets fly, oh, let them rain. So I'm reaching up with finger 5, that's an interval of a sixth here. Reaching finger 5 up to A. So try saying the words with me. Ready, go. Oh, let the bullets fly, oh, let them rain. Now you try playing it. And then we sort of repeat that same idea. My life, my love, my drive, it came from, but now we have a break. Pain. During that break, when left hand's playing, instead of playing this A with finger 5 like you did before, you're gonna switch to finger 3, and that way the rest of your fingers are free to finish up the piece for you, okay? So I want you to pause the video and try right hand only from oh, let through the second pain. So that's the pain in measure, let's see, 62, and then press play. All right, to add the left hand now, we're just playing that cool pattern that I love. E, G sharp, A, and then you play on the break before pain. Okay, so lining it up, it sounds like this. Oh, let the bullets fly, oh, let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from left hand, pain. Okay, pause the video, try putting the hands together, and then press play. All right, last part of the piece, it's quarter notes, which means we swing them again. And it's gonna be exactly like the top line of the piece, and it just cuts out, right? There's no long dramatic ending. We keep that speed going for the piece. So you made me a believer, believer, and then cut off, all right? So try the ending from you made me a until the very last note, and then press play. All right, you've now learned all the sections of this song. I know it can be a little confusing because there's a lot of repeats and some interesting rhythms here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the whole thing. I'm gonna do your first ending and your second ending. I'm gonna play it at that fast tempo, really driving the 4/4 so that you can hear how it will sound when you've had a chance to practice it a little bit more.